Hi, I'm Sam from Bear. Families often come to us months or even years before a death occurs, wanting to know how someone actually goes about planning a funeral. While the exact process is different for every funeral director, some of the key decisions are going to be the same no matter what. This video covers the basics of planning a funeral, so you're prepared no matter which funeral director you choose. If you're curious as to exactly how Bear works with you to plan a funeral, head to bear.com.au to learn more, or give us a call on 1800 071 176. After a death occurs, the first steps involve confirming the death with a doctor or hospice nurse and obtaining a medical certificate of cause of death. If the death was at a hospital or hospice, the staff will guide you through the process. If it occurred at home, and depending on the circumstances, you may contact your preferred GP or emergency services who will guide you through the next steps. Before making any funeral arrangements, one of the most important steps is verifying whether your loved one left any instructions or wishes for their end of life. This might be in the form of a prepaid funeral plan, a will, or even just a note about what they wanted. These documents may nominate a preferred funeral director and/or contain important instructions about the type of service they desire. If an executor is named in the will, they typically hold the legal responsibility to manage the funeral arrangements, and if there isn't, that responsibility will fall to the closest living relative. A funeral director serves as your central point of contact throughout the process, managing all logistics, including the safe transportation and care of your loved one, necessary legal documentation, and coordinating bookings and other arrangements on your behalf. Since funeral directors play such a core role in this journey, it's always a good idea to speak with a couple of different funeral directors to ensure you find the one that fits you and your loved one's needs. One of the next decisions you'll need to make is choosing between a cremation or burial, and that choice is often based on your loved one's wishes, faith, or their family preferences. A cremation is often chosen for its affordability and the flexibility it provides to families, while a burial provides a permanent place to visit, but tends to involve higher costs due to the purchase of a burial plot. There's no right or wrong choice. It's entirely about personal preference and what feels right. If you're looking for a simple, dignified, and low-cost alternative, you might want to consider a direct cremation. This is an unattended service where the cremation takes place shortly after a death without a formal viewing or ceremony. This option also allows you the freedom to arrange a personalized memorial or ashes scattering at a time and place that means something to you. Your chosen funeral director will handle all the legalities associated with the service and will also ensure the ashes are returned to you. Planning a funeral service begins with selecting a location, which can range from a traditional church or chapel to a personal setting such as a sporting club or park. Once you have set a date for your service, you'll decide who will lead the service, such as a religious leader or a civil celebrant. At this time, you can also consider the personal touches that honour your loved one, including music, readings, and eulogies. Alongside these personal touches, you'll manage several practicalities, including, but not limited to, choosing pallbearers, ordering flowers, creating order of service booklets, and things that will guide guests through the ceremony. Selecting a coffin often comes down to personal preference and budget. There are a wide range of options, from more traditional styles to simple timber designs and even eco-friendly alternatives like cardboard. You can also decide whether to hold a viewing for your loved one. This can take place at a funeral home or within a private setting such as a family home. If you choose to have a viewing, you'll be asked to provide clothing for your loved one. Your funeral director will then manage the preparation and the dressing, including professional services such as embalming if that's required. Ultimately, while some families find great comfort in a viewing, others prefer to forgo it. It's entirely a matter of personal choice. When it comes to costs, these can vary depending on individual requirements, so it's important to look closely at the itemised quote from your funeral director. Generally, expenses are divided into two categories. First, there are professional fees for services and items provided by your funeral director, such as the coffin, transportation, and the time of the funeral director themselves. Next, there are disbursements, which are third-party costs like the venue hire, celebrant fees, or the required burial and cremation permits. There are several avenues available to manage these expenses. Many families utilise funds from their loved one's estate, while others may access superannuation death benefits, life insurance payouts, or a prepaid funeral bond. Understanding these options early on can help you plan a meaningful farewell without unnecessary financial stress. Managing communications following a death generally falls into two categories: personal outreach and official paperwork. Begin by informing family, friends, and employers. You may also choose to publish a death notice, either online or in a newspaper, to share service details and communicate any specific requests. This might include requests for guests to wear bright colours or invitations to donate to a chosen charity in lieu of sending flowers. On the administrative side, you will need to notify government agencies such as Services Australia. Additionally, you'll need to contact financial institutions, including banks and insurance companies, to begin the process of finalising accounts. Following the service, many families choose to host a wake or reception. This offers a more relaxed environment for friends and relatives to gather, share a meal, and exchange stories. If you've chosen cremation, you'll also be able to decide what to do with the ashes. This might involve a scattering ceremony in a place that meant something to your loved one, creating a permanent memorial in a garden, or simply keeping the ashes in an urn. Finally, there are closing steps, which may include sending out thank you notes to guests, finalising any remaining payments with your service providers, and beginning the process of estate administration. The primary distinction between a funeral and a memorial service is the presence of the deceased, which dictates the level of flexibility for timing and location. A funeral typically occurs shortly after a death, with the body present in a coffin or casket. Compare that to a memorial service, which does not require the body to be present, allowing it to be held weeks or months later in non-traditional settings such as community centres, private homes, or local clubs. Memorial services often focus on celebrating the person's life through music, photo displays, and personal tributes. Key elements including choosing speakers, creating memory keepsakes, and creating post-service gatherings for guests. Whether the service is traditional or a modern celebration of life, the format is entirely dependent on the loved one's personality and the family's preferences. Pre-planning involves documenting your final wishes regarding burial or cremation, the type of service, and the specific preferences you have for venue, music, and readings. Once these personal details are outlined, they should be shared with family members or to a preferred funeral director to ensure they are understood. Key steps in this process include selecting a funeral provider and formally recording your instructions in accessible documents. By taking these steps, you can relieve your family of emotional and financial burdens while ensuring that your final farewell reflects your exact preferences. Thanks for joining me today. I hope this has provided a clearer understanding of the funeral planning process and the options available to you. If you'd like to learn more about the BEAR process, you can find all the details at bear.com.au or call us for a chat on 1800 071 176.